Welcome to our YouTube channel Mathematical Pathshala. In this lecture, we are going to discuss the ring theory solution of CSIR NET June 2018 examination. In this session, they have asked only two questions from this section, and both questions are of 4.75 marks. So the total weightage is 9.5. Basically, इस बार weightage बहुत कम है रिंग थ्योरी का, but generally at least 12-13 मार्क्स रहता है, and कभी कभी 20-22 मार्क्स पे भी चला जाता है. So इस बार थोड़ा कम है. क्वेश्चन इजी है, ज़्यादा टफ नहीं है. चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं. प्रॉब्लम नंबर 1. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स आर ट्रू? ऑप्शन ए, अ सबरिंग ऑफ एन इंटीग्रल डोमेन इज एन इंटीग्रल डोमेन. इट इज़ बेसिकली करेक्ट. अगर आप कोई भी इंटीग्रल डोमेन ले रहे हो, दिस इज अ commutative ring with unity. But there is one problem in this question, then option. I am explaining you the definition given in the Dummett and Foote book. They assume an integral domain is a commutative ring with unity without zero divisor, and that definition I also follow. But in this, they are saying a subring of an integral domain is an integral domain. So according to my definition, or according to Dummett and Foote's definition, if you take R to be say Z, this is an integral domain, it is commutative ring with unity. But if I take a subring of this, that is say S is 2Z, so this is without zero divisor, commutative, but it does not have a unity element. So according to my definition, a subring of an integral domain need not to be an integral domain. But they are following the definition integral domain, that means a commutative ring without zero divisor. That is why they have marked it as a correct option, but according to me this should be a false, because I am following the definition of Dummett and Foote book. So option A is correct according to CSIR NET, but not according to me or Dummett and Foote book. If you want to see the example, it will work. 2Z will not contain the unity element. So if you are losing unity, you cannot say this is a CRU. Option B, a subring of a UFD is a UFD. Can you give me some example where you have studied a unique factorization domain which is not a UFD, subring of a UFD which is not a UFD? That example I have covered in several times in my theory lecture. If you use this Z square root of -5, it is defined as a plus iota root 5b, where a, b are coming from Z. This is a subcase of rings of quadratic integer. So here you see this 9 can be written as 2 plus iota root 5, 2 minus iota root 5. If you compute the value, you are going to get 4 plus 5, that is 9. And we know that in the this example will not work here, because I am giving you the example of not a UFD, so it will not work here. Let me give you a strong example that should work for UFD. Z iota, it is defined as a plus iota b, where a and b are coming from Z. This is a ring of Gaussian integers. This is a particular case of ring of quadratic integer. So this is being an Euclidean domain, it becomes PID. This is an Euclidean domain. You can define the field norm, or you can send your element a plus iota b to a square plus b square. You can define a mapping say n from Z iota to natural number union 0. It is sending a plus iota b to a square plus b square. This mapping is called the field norm, and it defines an Euclidean norm. It satisfies the property of Euclidean domain. So this structure is an Euclidean domain, and every Euclidean domain is a PID. Hence it is the PID, and every PID is a UFD. Hence it is a unique factorization domain. If you take this subring Z2 iota, it is defined as collection of all a plus 2 iota b, where a and b are coming from Z. That is, the real part is always an integer, and the imaginary part will be an even integer always. So in this, if you see this 4 can be expressed as 2 iota into minus 2 iota. Both are member of this ring. This also can be expressed as 2 into 2. If you apply the definition of unique factorization domain, any non-zero non-unit element can be expressed as the final product of irreducible element. And if there is two representation, then this element should be associate of some element here, and this element should be associate of some element here. But you can see this 2 is not associate of iota 2 or minus iota 2. Why this is? See, in this ring, this 2 is associate of 2 times iota. This 2 is associate of minus times 2 iota also, because iota is a member here and minus iota is also a member. But here, this ring does not have iota and minus iota. So this ring loses 2 units from this iota and minus iota. If you know the unit here, units are here 1, minus 1, iota and minus iota. But here, it loses 2 units, iota and minus iota. And the definition of associate, A is associate of B if there exists, say U is a unit such that A is equal to B times U. So this iota is a unit inside Zi but not inside this. So you can see this 4 has 2 representation with respect to the finite product of irreducible element. You can verify 2 iota is 2 irreducible, this is irreducible, this is irreducible, this is irreducible. So this has 2 representation, but this 2 is not an associate of this. Or you say every non-zero non-unit element can be expressed as the finite product of irreducible elements up to associates, but it is not up to associates, because this 2 is not associate of 2 iota, neither this 2 is associate of minus 2 iota. So this 4 does not have that property. So this Z2 iota is not a unique factorization domain. You can verify this is a subring of this, and this is a non-trivial example. ये बहुत काम का example है. So option B false. Option C, a subring of a PID is a PID. What can you say for this? You can use this example also. This Z iota being a PID, but this Z2 iota is not a UFD. And you know that every PID is a UFD. If you use the negation, not UFD implies not PID. So this example will work. So this is a subring. This is not a PID, but Z iota is a PID. And I can give you one more trivial example. This is a non-trivial example. This Zx is a subring of Qx. Q being a field, this Qx is a PID. You can use this statement. R is a field if and only if Rx is a PID. So this R, this Q being a field, this Qx is a PID, but this Zx, Z is not a field, this Zx is not a PID. This is a subring of Qx. This is a trivial example. हर साल कहीं ना कहीं वो Zx Qx को टच करते ही करते हैं नाइट वाले. So this is false. A subring of a Euclidean domain is an Euclidean domain. You can use this statement. This Qx is an Euclidean domain, because you can always define of an Euclidean norm function here. Let me give you example for this. A non-trivial example, say Z iota, it is a PID, but if you choose its subring Z2 iota is not a PID. This is a trivial example or non-trivial example. Now, if F is a field, this implies Fx is always an Euclidean domain. You can define an Euclidean norm function from Fx to n union 0, this n sending Px to degree of Px. So under this function, this n follows the property of Euclidean domain. So this n is an Euclidean norm on this, and this Fx is an Euclidean norm. This provided this F should be a field. अगर F field नहीं है तो आप नहीं define कर सकते, because जब भी आप define करोगे तो यहाँ पर F के non-zero element को unit होने की requirement पड़ती है, तो वो आपकी field ही fulfill कर सकती है. अगर आपका F field नहीं है तो ये कभी भी नहीं बनेगा, क्योंकि अगर F field नहीं है तो ये स्ट्रक्चर कभी भी यूक्लिडियन डोमेन नहीं बनेगा. अगर यूक्लिडियन डोमेन नहीं बनेगा तो ये कभी भी अगर ये F field नहीं है तो ये कभी PID नहीं बनेगा. अगर PID नहीं बनेगा तो fx कभी भी ED नहीं बनेगा. So you can use this example also. Say this zx and qx. This qx is an Euclidean domain, but it is not an Euclidean. It is not an Euclidean domain because it is not a PID. तो अगर आपका फर्स्ट ऑप्शन गलत हो जाता तो सारे के सारे ऑप्शन फॉल्स हो जाते. तो अकॉर्डिंग टू मी दिस इज अ रॉन्ग क्वेश्चन बिकॉज दे शुड मेंशन द डेफिनेशन ऑफ एन इंटीग्रल डोमेन. इफ यू आर टेकिंग यूनिटी विद इट then option A is correct. If you are if you are taking unity, then option A is false. If you are doing without unity, then option A is correct, because the property of zero divisor is throughout. If bigger set does not have a zero divisor, larger set cannot have a zero divisor. So they should mention the definition of integral domain first. So according to me this question is a wrong question, but they have given A as an answer. So A will be only correct according to CSR 9. Now let me come to the second and the last problem for this. This is based on the rational root criteria that you sometimes use in the polynomial case. Let fx be an integer valued, this fx is a polynomial defined over zx. Collection of all polynomials in x whose coefficient are coming from z. And it is a monic polynomial. So I can say this fx will look like a0 plus a1x plus a2x square plus up to an x power n, but it is monic, so I can say the coefficient of highest degree term is 1 or the leading term is 1. Then the roots of f can belong to z. क्या fx के रूट z में belong कर सकते हैं? It is simple. If you say fx to be x minus 1, it has only one root as a 1, so this 1 is inside z, so the root of f can belong to z. So option A is correct because of the can word. Option B, the root of f always belong to r minus q union z. That is, the root will be either either irrational or z, because it is saying always belong to irrational union z. क्या ज़रूरी है अगर कोई इंटीजर कोएफिशिएंट वाला पोलिनोमियल है उसके रूट हमेशा रियल ही होंगे? इफ यू यूज दिस एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस 2, दिस पोलिनोमियल इज अ मोनिक पोलिनोमियल डिफाइंड ओवर जेड एक्स, डज नॉट हैव अ रूट ओवर क्यू कॉम्प्लीमेंट यूनियन जेड. इट हैज बोथ complex or you can say both imaginary roots. So option B false because of always word. Option C, always belong to C minus Q union Z. Let us see this option. Note one thing, if fx is a polynomial, say a0 plus a1x plus a2x square plus an x power n, this is an polynomial defined over zx. I am taking in general polynomial, need not to be a monic polynomial. I am saying this r by s is a rational root of this polynomial. So I am taking one more restriction, the GCD of r and s is 1, so that I cannot take I should not take the repeated elements. I am not taking the 2 by 4 element, I am taking 1 by 2. So I am taking the GCD of r by r comma s is 1, and this r by s is a member of q, so this r is an integer, this s is a natural number, or you can say this s is a non-zero integer. Both are possible. This r by s is a root of q if r divides the constant term and s divides the leading term. This is the condition for a rational root. If you are having any rational root, then your r should divide a0, s should divide an. This is an easy exercise, you can prove by yourself. You take just this r by s is a root, then put here and show that r divides a0 by definition of division, and show this s divides an by the definition of division. This is an easy exercise, and this is a condition for a polynomial which is defined over zx having a rational root. Now my polynomial is a monic polynomial, so I can take an to be 1. My polynomial is monic, so this s will divide 1 and you are saying this s is coming from natural number, so this s will be 1 only. If s is a non-zero integer, then possible value of s is plus minus 1. So for a larger case I am taking s is plus minus 1, and r is coming from integer, so r by plus minus 1 will always be an integer. So if this polynomial has a rational root, that root has to be an integer valued, because this r by plus minus 1 is inside z. This is because of this monicness. So option A, option C always belong to C minus Q union Z. It is true, अगर रूट होंगे या तो कॉम्प्लेक्स होंगे, अगर कॉम्प्लेक्स है दैट इज ओके, बट अगर कॉम्प्लेक्स नहीं है तो उसके पास कभी भी रैशनल रूट नहीं होगा. अगर रैशनल होगा तो वो अपने आप इंटीजर वैल्यूड बन जाएगा. सो C माइनस Q यूनियन Z में हमेशा रूट मिलेगा. ऑप्शन डी कैन बिलोंग टू Q माइनस Z, दैट इज इट हैज़ अ रैशनल रूट बट नॉट इंटीजर वैल्यूड. दैट इज फॉल्स. अगर कोई भी रैशनल रूट हुआ तो वो इंटीजर वैल्यूड बनेगा बिकॉज ऑफ मोनिकनेस. अगर मोनिक नहीं होता तो नहीं बोल सकते थे. सो ऑप्शन ए एंड सी आर पॉसिबल. सो दिस इज द करेक्ट क्वेश्चन. आई होप आपको प्रॉब्लम समझ में आई होंगी, बट स्टिल इफ यू हैव एनी डाउट यू कैन आस्क इन द कमेंट सेक्शन. यू कैन डू व्हाट्सअप मी ऑल्सो. इफ यू हैव एनी सजेशन फॉर अस, you are always welcome. Thanks for watching this solution series.